Welcome to Olympian Water Testing, giving you the best in water analysis. Today, we are looking at NBC News, where they have conducted a study and found that lead in water is in too many schools and there's too much in the water. So to keep children safe, to keep people in school safe, staff and teachers and other people who work there, it's important to do additional testing. What did they find? Many schools across the country have too much lead in their tap water, but most are not even testing for it, which is the problem. Why? Because you cannot see lead, you cannot taste lead, you can't feel lead, you cannot smell it. None of the five senses can pick it up, but it can have detrimental effects. And as we've talked about, not all heavy metals are equal. Heavy metals such as lead or mercury, even in small amounts, can cause problems, especially for young children. According to the new research published Wednesday, there is no coherent policy for lead testing, which that's something that needs to be implemented. Whether it's third party or it's another party doing that, it needs to be implemented to keep people safe. And half of the U.S. students go to schools in states that do not even bother to have programs for testing drinking water for lead, the study found. And I think that's the biggest problem that we find in this whole article. Half of all U.S. students go to schools in states that don't even bother to have programs for testing drinking water for lead. And even those that do test for lead, more than 40% of schools turned up at least one sample with higher than recommended levels of lead in the water. So even the ones that are testing, that's still dangerous. That could translate into millions of kids getting lead in the water they drink at school. Despite an uptick in awareness of attention to the issue of lead in drinking water, many students in the United States attend public schools in states where not all taps are tested for lead, the team wrote in their report. A report last year from the federal Government Accountability Office, which found 37% of school districts found elevated lead levels in students, and the GAO found 41% of school districts had not tested for lead within the past year. All kids, no matter where they live, should have access to drinking water in school. And that's the biggest thing. Kids should have safe access to drinking water, whether it's from a fountain, whether it's from a sink, wherever it is, they need to have clean access to drinking water. And the drinking water needs to be safe. Said Angie Karduk of Harvard's Prevention Research on Nutrition and Physical Activity, who led the study team. Drinking water is important for helping kids grow up healthy. And water should be safe to drink, which I would definitely say that's a must. It's not something that's optional. And the research team looked at data from 24 states that do have programs for lead testing in school, plus Washington, D.C. And just 12 states provided usable results. Among them, 44% of the schools had at least one water sample of lead above values allowed by local rules, which vary. And 12% of all samples had higher than recommended lead levels. Lead contamination in schools and in public drinking supplies is common across the United States. Washington, D.C. had to shut off access to all its school drinking water after widespread contamination was found across the public water supply and in public schools in their 2003-2004. And Flint, Michigan is still working out to clean its water. So this is still a big issue. While it's gotten better and there's more awareness, there's still too much lead in water at schools. And the issue is that they're not even testing for it. Or if they do, the results are coming back that it's higher than normal in 40% of the cases. This is why it's always a good idea to protect children, to protect school staff, to always have water periodically tested for lead.